Welcome to our discussion. I want to share with you this interesting research. It's a brain research done on babies who are exposed to bilingual, in the sense their parents do speak with their babies in two languages. And they did a study, the comparison study between the parents who speak in a bilingual with their babies and the parents who use a single language to speak with babies. So they wanted to know, does it have any impact on the baby's learning? So that's what we are going to see in this.
At the Institute for Learning and Brain Sciences at the University of Washington. I'm here in the iLab's magnetoencephalography facility, where my collaborators and I recently conducted a study comparing the brain processing of language sounds in bilingual and monolingual babies.
Again, this whole study is about the kind of impact or learning impact. The interesting
First,
study in my
we
view.
brought the 11-month-old babies into the lab with their parents. Half of the babies were from monolingual, English-only households. The other half of the babies, such as the one in this video, were from Spanish-English bilingual households. Our researchers first prepared the baby.
So again, here you can see that this particular baby's parents do speak with their baby in two languages, Spanish and English, and I will show you the results. So that's quite an interesting. Of course, they had done several.
During data collection, the babies sat on a special high chair beneath the MEG helmet with their parents sitting nearby. The babies listened to a stream of sounds such as da's and ta's. Some of the sounds were specific to English and Spanish, and some were common to both languages.
You can clearly see that this research is reading the brain patterns and trying to understand the brain activities. What they observed is, this is the simple chart which clearly demonstrates the strength of brain response on this axis, and the language you can see the Spanish and English. So you can see
brain responses, we found that at 11 months of age, the brains of babies from monolingual families were specialized to process the sounds of English.
It's very high here.
Spanish.
Okay.
The brains of babies from bilingual families, on the other hand, were
see,
specialized to process the sounds of both languages, Spanish and English.
This is quite an interesting monolingual. Again, you can see that baby is highly responding to the sounds which are related to English, but it is almost like negligible in Spanish. The baby which is exposed to bilingual and it equally responding to both language sounds. That clearly shows that there is a high activities taking place in the brain of the baby where the parent speaks to the baby in two languages.
Together, this shows that by 11 months of age, the infant brain specializes in whatever language or languages are present in the environment. Another important finding was that when directly compared to monolingual babies, the bilingual babies showed stronger responses in the prefrontal and orbitofrontal cortex.
Again, you guys can clearly watch this particular strength of the brain response in comparison between monolinguals and bilinguals. The timeline you can see here, and it's always higher every time it responds to the questions or queries or whatever. Babies who are exposed to more than one language, there is a higher brain activities you see. In India, by default, you'll be learning 2 to 3 languages, okay? It's very common in India that most of them are exposed to at least 2 to 3 languages. I myself know 3 languages, okay? So that clearly impacts our cognitive function. So I see that the countries or cultures which are exposed to the bilingual, their cognitive engagement or utilization is higher, which this research clearly demonstrates. Thanks for listening.